Hey guys, this is your host Nitin Binhani, and a very warm welcome to my startup podcast channel Jazair Audio, where we share real stories with real learnings.
In today's episode, we're unraveling the distress sale of Gaana.com, once India's crown jewel in music streaming and valued at over rupees 5,800 crore or $680 million at its peak. With 200 million monthly active users and $200 million raised, Gaana had every advantage a startup could ask for. Yet, in December 2023, Gaana was sold for a paltry rupees 25 lakh or $30,000 to Entertainment Network India Limited, the parent company of Radio Mirchi. We'll dive into this story in 4 parts, from the meteoric rise, market dominance to cracks in the business model, and finally distress sale, followed by key lessons for founders. Part 1. The rise of a music giant. In 2010, Gaana.com was launched by Times Internet as a pioneering music streaming service in India. At a time when the Indian digital economy was still in its infancy, Gaana stood out by offering an expansive library of Indian and international music. The timing was impeccable. With the backing of media conglomerate Times Internet and Chinese tech giant Tencent, Gaana swiftly became a dominant player in India. With 200 million monthly active users, the app became synonymous with music streaming in India. Its brand recognition was top tier, its user experience refined, and its partnerships with music labels cemented a strong moat. At its peak, Gaana commanded a valuation of $580 million, supported by heavy advertising, cross-platform distribution, and massive marketing budgets. However, beneath this facade of dominance, a financial storm was brewing. Part 2. Cracks beneath the surface. Here's where things turned ugly. Despite its strong user base and brand equity, Gaana struggled to build a sustainable business model. Indian consumers have always been price-sensitive. Monetizing them through subscriptions in a market flooded with freemium alternatives like Spotify, JioSaavn, YouTube Music was always going to be tough. Gaana primarily relied on advertising revenue and a small pool of paying users. However, unlike the Western markets, the Indian ad revenue per user was too low to support a platform of this scale, and subscriber growth lagged. By FY 2024, Gaana's revenue plummeted over 80%, down to just rupees 12.5 crore or $1.5 million, a huge financial disconnect compared to its $680 million valuation. Behind the scenes, Times Internet kept infusing capital, even turning a rupees 100 crore debt in July 2023 into equity. Tencent had already pulled back following geopolitical restrictions on Chinese investments. Desperate for a lifeline, Gaana eyed a merger with Airtel Wink, a strategic move that could have salvaged the business by combining user bases, reducing costs, and leveraging Airtel's infrastructure. However, the deal collapsed, so did Gaana's last hope. Part 3. The fire sale to Radio Mirchi. With mounting debt, crumbling revenue, and no rescue in sight, Times Internet pulled the trigger. In December 2023, Gaana was subsequently sold to Entertainment Network India Limited (ENIL), the parent company of Radio Mirchi, for a paltry rupees 25 lakhs or $30,000, almost a full value erosion. So, why a distress sale? Gaana wasn't just underperforming, it was bleeding. The buyer, Radio Mirchi, effectively took on a sinking ship with the hopes of navigating it to calmer waters. Part 4. Post-acquisition, drastic changes. Post-acquisition, Radio Mirchi acted fast with below steps. A. They put Gaana entirely behind a paywall. B. Doubled the subscription price to $5.99 or $7 per year. C. Pushed for premium monetization in an ad-fatigued market. However, by doing so, Radio Mirchi alienated a large chunk of Gaana's free-tier user base. Unlike Spotify and JioSaavn, who still offer free versions, Gaana's abrupt shift to paid subscriptions failed to retain its users. Enil's CEO, Yatish Marishi, disclosed that even after injecting rupees 15 crore or $1.8 million into Gaana, the company reported a 26% drop in operating revenue with rupees 5.45 crore or $645,000 in losses in the following quarter. Gaana's scale had all but vanished. In FY 2024, its revenue touched rupees 12.5 crore or $1.5 million, with the last quarter showing rupees 9.5 crore or $1.1 million post-paywall, barely a ripple compared to its heyday. Finally, what can founders learn from Gaana saga? Gaana's story is not about poor technology stack or lack of demand. It's about how even a powerful brand with deep pockets and a massive user base can still collapse, even if the well-funded startup lacks a viable business model. Here are 5 critical takeaways for every founder listening. 1. User growth does not equate to revenue growth. Vanity metrics are great for pitch decks, but if you can't monetize users effectively, then startup becomes a liability. 2. Beware of forever funding. Gaana survived on capital infusions for far too long. At some point, your unit economics must make sense without external lifelines. 3. Price sensitivity is real in emerging markets like India. Indian consumers love free content. If your model depends on mass subscriptions, your pricing has to reflect market behavior, not boardroom projections. 4. Diversify revenue streams early. Don't rely solely on ads or subs. Explore merchandising, live events, creator partnerships, anything that can de-risk your top line. 5. Plan for the what if. Gaana banked on the Wink deal. When that fell through, there was no plan B. Always have multiple exit strategies or pivot options in play. Gaana.com is a perfect case study that proves no brand is too big to fail and no market too easy to conquer. Folks, that's it for today. Thanks for tuning in. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Join us next time as we continue exploring the dynamic world of startups and the valuable lessons from their journeys.